This is The Basketball Show with Shane the Hammer Heel. What they gonna say next?
Hi guys, Joe and Hammer with you for The Basketball Show. It's all thanks to TCL Mobile, 2K23 and UPCOZ. Hammer, how you doing this week?
You're looking like Christmas.
Oh,
Look at you.
Thank you.
All in red.
I'll take that.
What about me? I have
Not
gone with
planned.
a little something as well, a little different.
I've definitely seen it before, but it is slightly different to the
Oh,
norm.
thanks. Yeah,
to
that's
the
great.
norm.
Way to be positive.
Lots happening this week, a little bit of controversy
Oh, yes.
up in Brisbane. We'll get to that shortly. We will kick off the show, though, with a really nice story. Can you talk us through it, please?
Well, we're going to go to a package, but my old mate Tash, well, she's not old, but I've known her for a long time now. We're very fortunate, being athletes, to sometimes be able to play a small role in being able to help people at difficult times in their lives. And known Tash for a long time and spent a day with her, but we've become mates ever since. And now she follows Shy and comes to games and go out for dinner. And she is a bloody legend, just like Rob, her partner. So let's check it out, eh?
Let's.
Hi, I'm Natasha. I'm 43 years old. I am a Starlight wish child. I received a wish when I was 13. I have spinal muscular atrophy, was told by doctors I would be dead by the time I was 14. So Starlight for me has been a way of helping myself cope with my disability and actually have the strength to keep fighting. I was offered any wish. I could have gone to Paris, I could have gone to Disneyland, but no, I wanted to meet Shane Heel. Why Shane? Shane had this passion for basketball, for everything that he did in his life, and I needed that. At the time when I was in high school, I was bullied, so for me, you know, when I wasn't having my treatment, I was at school, I was getting picked on. I started to watch basketball and I'd seen Shane and he would not take no crap off of nobody. So for me, that was like, yeah, I love basketball. This stuff is cool. Starlight Go Big Challenge is where people will nominate to walk 50, 100, or 150 kilometres, or whatever amount they want to do. And they can walk it, they can run it, they can roll it, they can ride a horse, whatever they want to do. It's basically getting fit at the same time as having people sponsor or donate to Starlight. So Starlight Go Big Challenge will not just grant wishes for Starlight, it'll also give funds to the Starlight Express Room. So the Starlight Express Room is an outlet. It's a place where children can go when they're in hospital to escape everything that's going on, their treatments, you know, when their pain's too hard, you know, when they just need to be kids. So that is a place where they can go to do, they can play PlayStation, they can colour, they can, you know, they can do lots of fun stuff. You can donate to Starlight directly by contacting Starlight Children's Foundation, or you can follow the link for our team, which is the Basketball Buddies, and donate directly to that. And we would love it if you could help, support, and kick some butt and raise some much needed funds for Starlight. That was meant to go that way.
Well, that was absolutely lovely. Such a beautiful cause, and amazing that you've been able to have such an impact in someone's life.
Yeah, I mean, it's humbling for me because people like Tash are the real heroes that are able to fight through real difficult times. And that's why we want to get behind it and join Tash in raising some money for Starlight. And for those that haven't been out to the rooms for the great work they do, it's incredible, absolutely incredible. So donate, we'll have all the details on our socials.
Yep, well said.
Good on you, Tash.
Okay, we're going to hit the socials to kick off our TCL starting five. This tweet from Brad Cole. Breaking, the new owners of Melbourne United have just been announced, obviously referring to the fact that the Jack Jumpers beat United again on their home court. How good?
I loved it. It came up on my feed and I was like, new owners. And then I was like, very clever, because Melbourne United had that game. And it was just through grit and determination that they were able to wrestle that thing back on Melbourne's court as well. So they're in their head living rent-free right now.
No, exactly right. And I think I heard someone say the other day, this is no surprise from Tassie. It's just how they play. They keep going, they dig deep, and they're all on the same page, and that's really clear to see.
They are. They're a great team, great culture, play hard all the time, so they give themselves a chance to be able to win any game, whether it's at home or on the road, and this league is just very, very close.
It is indeed. Keanu Pinder has been getting a little chirpy on social media as well. The Jimmy Smith Show tweeted, how do the Kings shut down the Cairns Taipans and Keanu Pinder? He then responded to that with, they can't. Confidence or arrogance?
I think a little bit of both.
I love it.
Yeah, I like it too. But you leave yourself vulnerable that if the Kings go up there and get it done, because we shoot and it's tonight. And but I like it. He's backing himself. He's going for a big payday, but he's going to have to get it done against the league leaders, and then he can really sprout off.
Quite rightly, going to be a great game tonight as well.
Great game.
Should be good.
Can't wait for it.
Shout out to Mitch Creek, who played NBL game number 300.
Great effort.
Yep.
Great effort. He's
on the weekend. He had a cracker as well, 27, 6 and 3 in his 300th. Not bad.
They are just coming good. That's why they're in my top 4. They're really well balanced. I like what they're doing, and well done. 300 games is a terrific effort, and he's got a couple hundred probably left in him, I would have thought.
You'd think so. Has never won a championship. Is that one thing that's eluded him? Is he in the position this season to do so?
I was in exactly the same boat. Sometimes you're in teams where it is difficult to be able to do it. It's just not your time. But I would think that he's probably going to win a championship before his time's done.
Okay. Heard it here first. Shout out to the WNBL for their round 4 campaign, Fighting Period Poverty. Now, this is not the easiest thing to talk about, even as a woman, but it's a really important message that the WNBL and the players are sharing. The charity that they're working with is called Share the Dignity, and it's all about just raising awareness. I think 1 in 5 women can't afford the correct products that they need each month, which is startling, and it's a really a terrible thing. It's a right for women really to have to do that, and just shout out to the WNBL for doing so.
Well, as a girl dad, I feel like, it's an important message as a guide to be able to share in these things and voice it, because the WNBL in 2022 are trying to raise $25,000. The fact that we're actually having to do this blows me away, because you're oblivious to a lot of the stats. And jump on the website, because there's a lot of stories that blow you away a little bit. So well done, and hopefully this continues on, and next year they can raise 50.
Yeah, exactly right. And just like food banks as well, I think you can go down to your local Bunnings and drop off products as well that will go to people in need. So yeah, just a really good campaign, and certainly something that's worth talking about. Another issue in terms of funding and basketball is funding in New South Wales. There's this story today in the Daily Telegraph featuring Lauren Jackson. 10,000 young kids each year are turned away from the sport because there aren't enough facilities. That's startling to me.
I've been banging on about this to whoever will listen for years and years. Yeah. I mean, it's disgraceful. It's the biggest state. You go down to Melbourne, and I don't know the exact, I'm sure I'll get pulled up, but I want to say there's 4, 5, 6 stadiums that have got 12 to 16 courts. Fantastic, unbelievable. There's more basketball being participated in Victoria than any other state, by far. And the facilities play a big part of it. Yeah. And I think the biggest amount of courts in Sydney is 6, and they're not even full-size courts. I mean, it's disgraceful. There needs to be more funding, and councils need to get more courts available for kids outside that's for free.
What's the solution?
Well, there has to come from funding for government. I know land's really expensive, but they've got to find solutions. They've got to be able to get this done. Kids being turned away from sport, and the costs rising all the time is not good enough, but councils need more outdoor courts with lights. We want to be encouraging kids, rather than always being on their phones and computers, to get out there and hoop it up and have some fun. And for mental health, I think it's really important as well.
Yeah, especially in this day and age, definitely.
Big time.
All right, guys, time to go crystal gazing as we do every week. We bring in former NBL MVP Derek Allen Rucker. D, how are you this week?
Al! Big Al! Where'd that come from, Jojo?
I love it.
Good one, Joe. Very good.
We'll take a look at the leaderboard. You guys have made up a little bit of ground on me. I'm still leading on 20. Hammer, you're on 18. D, you're on 17.
You got arrogant, Joe. You had the lead and you had the nerve and disgust to pick Illawarra. Shame on you.
Imagine had I pulled that off though, come on.
Imagine.
There is one more game in round out 8, of course. The Kings taking on the Taipans up in Cairns tonight. Xavier Cook's returning for the Kings, so big boost for them. Looking ahead to round 9 though, Hammer, first up the Breakers welcome the Phoenix to their shores on Thursday. Who have you got in that one?
Two really good teams. I've got both these teams in the top 4 and both playing their best basketball so far of the year. I can't go against New Zealand playing at home, but Southeast Melbourne, I think, are capable of beating anybody in the league right now. They're really well balanced. But the defence of New Zealand and the enthusiasm and toughness they play with, I love everything about them.
Derek, that is followed by the Bullets hosting the Wildcats. Both teams desperate for a win. Who have you got?
I'm going to go with Brisbane to get Sam McKinnon's first victory as interim head coach.
Okay.
And check that, Joe. Interim head coach he is. I think they'll just be hungry. Hopefully they get Aaron Baines back for this game, and this will kind of be the start of the second part of the season for the Bullets.
All right, Hammer, you don't agree?
Nope.
No, I don't think I do either, but we'll see.
That's why Derek's last.
The 36ers take on the Taipans on Friday night, Hammer.
36ers. 36ers are as good or better than any team in the competition. I'm not sure they need another import. I think when you look at Franks, you look at Cleveland, they're so well balanced with DJ being able to score, and the defense of McCarron and Detch. They are really well balanced. They're coming into their own, and if they are going to get an import, they're going to have to get somebody that complements all those other pieces and is happy to be able to play a role.
Yep, the glue guy, so to speak. Derek, Saturday, the Breakers are at home again, this time to the Wildcats. That'll be their second in as many days.
Yeah, I think New Zealand handled this. Perth have a tough road trip, and going down to New Zealand all the way from Brisbane is going to be a tough one. What, are the Breakers playing every game at home now? What's going on? This is an extra payback for the price they had to pay during COVID. And for the rest of the league, it is not good because they demolished Brisbane in that game, and Sam McKinnon's first game as a coach, and they look really tough, Shane. I've got them slightly ahead of the Kings now as championship favorite.
Oh, okay. That's a shout. Hammer?
I think Adelaide are up there. I think all three are tough to split. You know, the advantage that Sydney have is they've been there, they've done it before. They've had some ugly games and still found a way to be able to win, but it's very, very tight.
It is incredibly. There is another throwdown on Saturday night. Who wins that one, Hammer?
I've got to go with Southeast Melbourne. I just like the way they're playing. You know, still question marks about Melbourne United. You know, they've got all the pieces, but they just don't seem to be gelling. And, you know, there's question marks about them when they sign some of those pieces. And whilst they're probably getting a little bit better, give a little bit more time for their import centre that's only been here for 5 minutes, but Southeast Melbourne are rolling.
Sunday afternoon, D, the Kings host the Adelaide 36ers. Home court advantage?
I hope so. I think the last time Adelaide were able to knock off the Kings in Sydney, and I think Sydney will pay them back and start to find their rhythm again. Hopefully Xavier Cooks is fully recovered and they can get back to playing some good basketball. Shane, just going back to the Browns, who's your preferred Brown? Gary Brown or Barry Brown?
Who's Barry Brown?
The Breakers.
Joe, can you educate my man?
Sorry.
I know,
Sorry,
right?
mate. I just lost him for a sec. I like New Zealand's Brown. He's playing a great role. He's been unbelievably consistent. Yeah, and just been able to fit in perfectly.
They've done a great job with all three of their imports. Hammer, the Bullets host the Jack Jumpers after that one on Sunday. These guys, both these teams, have had some incredibly close games recently.
There is no way that I could tip Brisbane in this game. No way. I could not tip Brisbane in this game against Tassie. You know, they'll probably be favourites to win the game, but there's just too much grunt around Tassie and the way they go about it, and they just never give up. They play, play their roles, play as a team. I love everything about them. I just don't think that Brisbane are going to get it done. Do you disagree, D? You're picking Brisbane to win both.
I am not, Shane. I believe Tassie will get this one. You have to knock them out. When you get a slightest opportunity to put Tasmania away, if you don't, as Melbourne United found out the other night, they will come back and get you. I have no idea how Melbourne United lost that game. I turned it off, Shane, and started watching the Socceroos. I got a notification on my phone, Tassie 94, United 90. I was shocked.
Should have texted me, mate. Jason Bourne was going to work. The other channel.
Derek, finally, Monday night, the Hawks are hosting United. They've lost 9 in a row. Do you think they can break the streak?
Joe, I know this isn't, the type of game you would get into because, it's not top of the tier ladder teams playing in this one. But I'm going to go with this one as being the most entertaining game of the week. Okay. I'm leaning towards Melbourne United, but I'm going to go with the Illawarra Hawks. There's been a lot of speaking about them perhaps being relocated. They've come out and made a statement saying that that's not going to happen. They're going to come out, Joe, and show those Illawarra people how to play basketball, and they're going to win this game by at least double digits, Shane.
Derek started the festive season early. You really have, mate. Have you been drinking? Oh, yeah, it's lunchtime, mate. You need to relax. Responsible drinking, Derek, there is no chance.
Right, well, we know you're tipping in that one, Hammer.
Please.
All right, guys, thank you. We'll check in with the leaderboard again next week. Thanks to 2K23, we are going in depth this week with Kings owner Paul Smith. Paul, great to have you on the basketball show. Now, we won't beat around the bush at all. We've all seen the article in the Telegraph today. Former owner Harvey Lister says that it's time to lift the lockout on a second Sydney team. You responded on Twitter. Can I get your initial thoughts on the situation?
Yeah, look, the situation as a whole is that it's a fluid situation. We have discussions with the league about the circumstances of an expansion team in Sydney. That's a given. We're always open to those types of conversations. I find it a bit challenging when a former owner of the team wants to express an opinion about how we should run our team and what we do with our business. And unfortunately, people like Harvey aren't aware of the challenges that are in front of us right now as we contemplate how we develop the game of basketball as part of our total Hoops Capital business. It's a very complicated matter and a lot of challenges out there and a lot of challenges in the basketball community as a whole in New South Wales. The lack of facilities, and we want to help address that as well.
I'm not very smart, as you know, Paul, so you might have to educate me. But when I first read the article, I was like, hold on, this is Harvey Lister owned the team. He negotiated a block out from no second team until 2026. Now he's gone back into running stadiums where you're a long-term tenant with UPCOZ, and the talk is if another team came in, maybe it's the new International Convention Centre, who he also runs. Is there a bit of self-interest in here potentially?
Well, they say, Shane, in business, particularly in global markets, no conflict, no interest. So, I don't know how that works. But look, it's it's speculation from Harvey, I would suggest, and that's okay, that's all right. We're all big boys, we can handle it. And yeah, we bought the team on the basis we had a 10-year lockout. That was part of the deal that we bought. That was appealing to us as an investment perspective because it gave us a runway to develop what we're doing in the business. Now, winning a championship doesn't mean you just pop the balloons and we've solved all the problems. Winning a championship was very important to us, but we've got to do that on a repeated basis. Repeated strong performances are critical across our entire club, as you well know, Shane. And it's important that we get this product going. We get well regarded in the market. But that's part of what we're doing here. And ending the lockout early, that's a lot of complex issues related to that, a lot of commercial issues and real estate issues as well. Where does the team play and what are the boundaries in terms of marketing and other elements that need to be clarified, and they aren't clear right now. So right now we're full steam ahead on our business model, and that sees the team arriving for the 26-27 season, and we're happy for that.
Say those issues are resolved. Is Sydney ready for a second team now?
Look, it's an interesting question, and I think what complicates it a little bit is Illawarra. And anyone who knows me knows what a proponent I am of Illawarra Hawks staying in Illawarra. I think it's incredibly important to the game in New South Wales that franchise remains stable. But that's going to put three teams in a very close proximity to each other. And that in its own right is a bit challenging, I would suggest. But, look, there's always room for growth, but that growth's got to be part of a strategic approach to the development of the game and growing the audience of the game. And right now, we're in the midst of that with our strategies and our plans, and they're coming together. But we've got a long way to go before we reach a position where we feel that this market's really viable for two teams.
And where are the league at with this, Paul? The 2026 is the way it currently stands. Are they trying to shift the goalposts or work with you to be able to get a team earlier?
Well, I think the league would like that. I don't know who's out there on the other side of the equation to become the owner of an expansion team in the market. But the league certainly made sort of approaches to us along that basis, and we've not rejected the notion. We've just simply said that look, it needs to be done on suitable terms, and I think that's only reasonable.
From the outside looking in, we know the Kings are in great shape on the court. It seems that they're in good shape off the court as well. But from your point of view, sort of what are the next sort of 12-month goals, and then let's say another 12 months on from that?
Well, on courts, getting dual championships hammer. That's what we'd like. We'd like to see that. We sure would. But I think continuing the winning status of our men's program, and obviously the work we're doing with Shane and the women's program, and taking that to its next level in multiple ways. Certainly from our perspective, off court, the development of facilities, and we're imminently going to be announcing some very important initiatives in that regard. But also working towards the focus towards developing a high performance centre for ourselves, and that we can house both the men's and women's teams collectively. We think that's very important as well. Still a process of consolidation, Joe. We're only scratching the surface in terms of the potential of basketball in Sydney. We go out with our claim with the Hoops Capital, but that's a claim right now. We want to make sure it's a statement. It's a statement of fact, and to do that, we need to grow the game in so many different directions and work closely with New South Wales Basketball and with the associations that are existing. And that's a journey that we're on, and we're really only just beginning in that regard, because we've been working so hard in getting the foundations right. We're just in a position now where we can start to build something that's tangible and people can appreciate what we've been working on for so long.
Some great initiatives, though, to get excited about as a fan, particularly. Christmas Day, I've been banging on about this for 10 years. And from a league's point of view and a club's point of view, to finally have that happen, how are ticket sales? And you must be very excited.
Yeah, look, I'm excited. I'm, of course, a little nervous. That nervousness extends back to July when we announced the whole initiative with the league. And, we've been strong proponents of this. Andrew Bogut has, gone on about it for a long time, about the need to fill this gap in the market and take this time slot that's been left open. The last little bit of sports real estate left in this country for us to have a piece of. And, the fact that Channel 10 today have announced they're moving the game over onto the main network in high definition is really such a vindication of what we've been working on. And we've got high hopes. We hope it becomes a tradition that people can be part of and enjoy. And we want to see the teams rotate to play us. We don't want to, we want to see that opportunity for a lot of teams to be exposed on a big platform like this. And I just can't express how excited we are. And we're determined to make it a success. And we want to see it also as an opportunity to give back to the community and give back to people that are a little less fortunate than most of us that enjoy Christmas Day in a certain way. We might bring some comfort and some joy to people as well.
It's obviously game day for you guys today. What are the anxiety levels like from your point of view leading up to a game?
Well, this is I think it's worse for folks like myself because we can't make any material impact on the result. We've just got to sort of sit there and sweat it out. But, typically a game day for me, an away game like this, sometimes I go to the games, but most of the time it's a check-in with Chris Pongrass to make sure that everyone's healthy and woke up okay, and then it's a bit of banter with Chase Buford on text. We've had a bit of that today, a few laughs, and gets everyone relaxed. But, it's a big one today. It's an important one for us. We want to keep our road streak going. The way this league's starting to shape out, it's going to become hell of a congestion in that middle territory, and the more we can do to stay out of that space and kick clear of the pack and sort of give ourselves that bit of breathing space to handle what might come over the road. But I know one thing, it's, we're only, is that 11th game for the season, I think, or 10th game for the season. we had a long way to go. We dodged a little bit of a bullet with Xavier, getting dinged up in Auckland, and then bounced back pretty well. It's a really tough year, this one, and we see it every day when the teams just going and taking each other down, and road teams winning. It's all over the shop right now, so it doesn't get any easier. I think it's probably better if it's a home game. I tend to sort of engage a bit more, but right now, I'll just head home and sweat it out. Yeah.
But we love it. It's certainly going to be a cracking game this evening. Thank you so much for joining us and getting your thoughts, and obviously all the best with the rest of the season and whatever's in front of that, I guess.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for everything. See you. Bye.
Good on you, mate.
Catch ya. Let's get straight into points made thanks to UPCOZ. Dee is still with us now. I'll come to you first because we've got to talk about the situation at the Bullets. They let go of JD. People had been talking about that for a little while, but I mean, really, it seems that he wasn't actually the problem. Derek, what is your take on the entire situation up there?
Wow. I mean, if we had 10 minutes, Shane, I could really break it down, but I'm going to do my best here in about, 30 to 45 seconds. I thought, firstly, the timing was horrendous. Certainly, they must have known after last weekend's games, after they lost to Cairns, that there was a possibility that James Duncan would no longer be the head coach. Why not make that move Saturday night after the game or early Sunday morning? So the team has the whole week to adjust to it. It allows whoever the new head coach was going to be to come in there and get a feel for what's going on. We knew that turned out to be Sam. So he's in there. As of Friday, James Duncan still was coaching the team at Thursday's practices, according to people I've spoken to. Then they named Sam McKinnon as the interim head coach on Friday and give him like a day with the team. And then they fly out to New Zealand and get stomped by 37 without Aaron Baines. Even with Aaron Baines, that was a big butt kicking that was going to come no matter what. So, but, to the public, they have a bit of an out by saying that Baines wasn't there, so they didn't have their full team. I don't necessarily buy that. Also, the CEO, Peter McClellan, is over in America right now, and he and the ownership group are forming these ideas. And I'm not sure how well briefed Sam McKinnon would be as the head of basketball operations here in Brisbane. Is he a part of these conversations, Shane, or is he just a part of the conversations when they want him to be? I think it's a really tricky situation for Sam. I think he was thrown in a horrible situation yesterday. He didn't look comfortable, and they pretty much got what they deserve, which is a 37-piece and a big loss.
It's been a mess, Dee. I spoke to somebody that was in the know in the off-season, and they said they're just not together, from ownership to management to Sam McKinnon to JD. And that's exactly how it's looked the whole time. I haven't understood what the strategy is. Why don't they have another input? How do you not have another input? If I'm James Duncan, I'm like, at least give me an opportunity to be able to compete here. It doesn't seem like they're together. If anyone's going to take over, though, it should be Sam McKinnon, because this is his team. He recruited all of these players and then handed it to JD. So now it's his opportunity to be able to turn things around and show us why he put these players together and how they can complement each other and whether they can take another step forward. But you have to have a look over the last few years. It's been hard to understand what their vision is and what they're trying to build, and whether there's any way out of this at the moment, because you'd have to think not.
It's a bit of a sticky situation for everyone involved, no doubt. Let's keep things moving with the NBA. LeBron James and the Lakers are on the rise. LeBron is balling at the moment. He had 39, 11 and 3 against the Spurs yesterday. They're 5-5 in their last 10. AD's putting up some big numbers as well. Russ seems to have turned his form around. Derek, is this the point in the season where you can actually say that they're legit and they'll feature in the playoffs?
Stop it, Joe. They haven't beaten anybody.
Hey, I'm asking you the question.
They've beaten the Spurs a couple of times. They've beaten some other lightweights. I'll give Anthony Davis credit. He's finally woken up out of his 2-year slumber since they won that bubble championship. I don't know what that guy's been doing or what turned this around, but he's finally starting to make an impact like he should be able to every game he plays. LeBron coming back isn't really a big deal. I think they've gotten really solid play from some of their support guys. Austin Reeves, Lonnie Walker, the second, third, fourth, fifth, whatever he is. You know, they look a little bit more solidified. And the move to put Russ on the bench and have him come off really, I thought, triggered this whole run that they're on, Shane.
It's fluff, D. You said it. Come on, Jojo. Like, what sort of journalism is that question? It's fluff. They're not going anywhere. And AD finally putting up 25 and 15, so he should. He should be doing it for the last couple of years, like Derek said. And he's fool's gold. We expect it all the time. No, we should. He should be doing that every game, or at least peppering those numbers. It looks like the guy doesn't care. It looks like he's soft. You've got to respect the great man, King James, though. The fact that he had 40 in 2005 and then 17 years later he can get 39 and 11 and all the rest of it. The guy is a machine. He's not a general manager. He doesn't know how to put together teams, but he is a machine to be able to do this, and not only physically be able to do it, but mentally still be so engaged and so hungry to be able to perform at that level is absolutely inspiring.
Right, I've got another fluff question for you
Thank you.
in that case. Director Dave's second favourite team, the Sacramento Kings. They have lost their last two, but they're sixth in the West. Are they a smoky for the play-in, D?
Oh, I don't know, Joe. You know, this Light the Beam, they've got all their little supporters excited up in Sacramento, which, by the way, along with Bakersfield, California, is the armpit of that state. Nobody wants to live in Sacramento. It's the poor little cousin to San Francisco. You know, they're trying to make something here. They've got a cute little team. You know, they've got Sabonis and they've got De'Aaron Fox. They've got a few pieces, but let's see where they are in February and in March, because I doubt we'll be mentioning them, and I'll be shocked if they're in a play-in situation, Shane.
Well, I think they're in a situation where they've thrown some good players together. They're all excited, scoring 119 points, second best in the league, 6 players in double figures. You know, you mentioned 2 guys, Sabonis, he's just a workhorse. So hitting the ground running for his new team, a whole lot of enthusiasm to be able to make things happen with Fox as well. So you can see why they're having early success, but the big question is it sustainable as other teams start coming good in the second half of the season?
All right, that is points made thanks to UPCOZ. Don't forget to check out their markets and promotions for their games of the week. This week, it's the Kings and Suns. Speaking of, Mavs and Warriors, Clippers and Jazz, that one's on Thursday. And in the NBL, it's the Breakers and Wildcats. So plenty of good promotions, upcoz.com. D, love your work. Thank you. And we will speak to you next week.
See you guys.
Good on you, Al.
Right, fun show today. That is all we've got time for. Lots of hoops coming up this week. In particular, though, if you're in New South Wales on Sunday afternoon, a big doubleheader at Kudos Bank Arena.
Going to be a massive day, and rightly so. The intro is the Kings against Adelaide.
I love it.
And then the Flames come on for the main event straight afterwards. So you'll do your sideline job, and then you'll be able to sit there with a couple of wines, no doubt.
I love the fact that I'll be able to switch off afterwards. I can't wait.
Yep, so hopefully our girls are ready to make a couple of jump shots, and who knows.
And maybe we can record a little bit later next Monday as well.
Yeah, you will need to. No doubt about that. Sponsored by Panadol.
Thank you guys for watching. Thanks to TCL Mobile, 2K23 and UPCOZ. We'll see you hopefully a little later next Monday.
This is a co-production by News Corp Australia and Closer Sports.